focused, which is not always the case, but she was,
Good.
we do a
Good.
discrimination exercise where the dog sits in the middle and everyone calls and the dog has to stay until you call them. And
Yeah.
she was so focused on me. She did a beautiful job. So I was pleased.
Oh, good,
And,
good.
she's still jumpy. It's still 4 on the floor is a challenge, but
Yeah, but that's, that's okay.
yeah.
She's young and energetic. And let's see. I'm going to turn off my email because otherwise it's ping. And I see we have 6 people jumping on. Hey guys, welcome. Say hi in the comments so we can see who you are.
Hi,
and you should be able to see comments, Janice. You may not be able to reply because that little widget, hey Lori, that little widget about stopping Russian aggressions is right over the visitor comment box.
Oh, okay.
So while we all want to stop Russian aggression, we'd actually like to comment. So yes, and Lori, are you coming this year, Lori? And hi Donna, hi Jean, hey Karen. So, you had your Bluetooth in and you actually got a notification, because I've been seeing people saying they weren't getting notifications. So it's great to know that that's working.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. So what's the countdown for camp? For June camp?
We are 9 weeks away.
9 weeks? How is that even possible?
I know, it is exactly 9 weeks today. It's amazing how quickly it comes up. You're getting ready and bang, all of a sudden it's right there. And we've been working on the schedule and we got some new things going on this year. We're very excited to have our water yoga classes. So we've always done the dog yoga,
water yoga.
But now we're going.
Okay, you got to tell me, what the heck is water yoga?
Being in water is very soothing for dogs, and especially dogs are so hyped up at camp. So we've done some work with swimming lessons where people would kind of hold the dogs and relax them. And now we've come up with, Michelle and Tina got together and they had a great idea for how to do some of these, dog yoga moves in the pool where the dogs, people can stretch, and kind of a nice, soothing, relaxing, June is hot, so it's great weather for it. So we will be doing
that sounds really interesting, because you always saw that video of the guy who took his old dog into the lake every day. And
it is so healthy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That
makes a lot of sense. Jean is asking, let's put it out there. Are there spots still left?
There are. We are still good for June camp. We have a few spots left for September camp as well. June has, there's a nice big facility. The rooms are beautiful. It's, certainly.
Well, they just finished everything, right?
You're going to have dogs, you have microwave and refrigerator and a coffee maker room. Yeah. They're nice size rooms. We've got a big ballroom. So if it rains or if it's too hot, we have indoor space. We also have the outdoor fields and the dock diving pool. And we're hoping that it won't be so hot. Last year, we didn't use the lake simply because it had been really hot and stagnant for the week before. And
it had algae bloom. Yeah,
take that chance. But I know we'd gone swimming in the spring there. It was beautiful. So it really depends on if you had that hot weather before or not. So monitor that.
But yeah, and I feel like it's Oprah. You get a fridge and you get a fridge. Fridges were in short supply previously. Now it's automatic.
And that's
which is fantastic.
So many people feed raw or they do home cooked. So it gives you that option of bringing your food and having it right there without.
And if you want to keep your jug of wine in cold, if you like it cold, you have the option. And I'm going to just type in the camp website. People are asking about Canine Camp sorry, my keyboard is, I'm moving. Make sure I'm not typoing it. caninecampgetaway.com.
Now, if you use it on the phone, all the information will be there. But if you use it on a computer, you'll also be able to see all the videos and stuff. There's a lot of video content.
Yeah, you just did a website upgrade.
Yeah, we did. We wanted to get some video because we really wanted people to see that camp experience. It's a unique experience where your dogs get to try. It's kind of like a Club Med for dogs where they get to try so many things. And you could,
and of course we'll have lure coursing, right?
Yes, we have a little video of lure coursing, of barn hunt, of different activities. Because so many times, I remember the first time I went to Club Med, there were a million water sports I'd never tried, and I loved being able to try them all and figure out what I was good at and what I enjoyed. And it's the same thing. Your dogs can try everything and then figure out what they like best.
That's perfect. And so we have Tina coming back.
Yes, we do.
Tina, for those of you who don't know, is part of the Canine Stars that were on America's Got Talent. They were, what did Howie call them? The best dog act he'd ever seen.
Yeah.
It was amazing, amazing experience. So she, with her there, and Michelle. Do we have any other new staff members coming?
We have Frank coming back, who hasn't come in years. He was a real solid trainer, and he is bringing another trainer with him, Cade. So he's actually going to do, which we haven't offered before, the bird work, where we have the box where you fire a blank and it opens and like the fake bird shoots into the air. So if you want to teach a dog to retrieve,
yeah, you know, that's interesting for all our retriever types.
You know, the duck pillars, the regular retrievers will enjoy them.
Yeah. Oh, that is cool.
And Carrie will be back again, so she'll be doing some master tricks classes for those of you who want to do high-level tricks.
Yeah, well, for stunt dog school and Hollywood and all that stuff. That sounds amazing. Sounds really amazing.
And I know you'll be doing some interesting talks for us, Lori. It's always great.
Yeah, I've got to figure out what I want to talk about. So you guys who are on this call or afterward, comment. What do you want to hear? Because, well, some of you were already at my Healthy Dog Expo, which it's hard to believe was 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
It seems like it was yesterday. It seems like it was forever ago. But oh my God, they're still talking about it.
That was an amazing event.
It was amazing. It was amazing to have Rodney there, to have Dr. Becker, to have Kendra Pope. And the thing I was really impressed with were all of my vendors who have graciously donated some of the overflow from my event to camp. So those of you coming to camp will be getting some surprise goodies.
Always nice goodie bags.
Goodie bags are the best. And yeah, Lori unfortunately couldn't attend, but next year we're working on dates for next year. But you know, if there's something you heard there or wanted to hear that I can do for a talk, I'm more than happy to.
Because one of those things, you tend to go to the vet when your dog is sick and you're worried about that, you're focused on that. So you don't really have the opportunity to ask some of those other questions that you might want to if you had that luxury. And camp, you have that luxury where we have these Ask the Vet sessions where you can learn about things you might not learn about because it's not about your dog being sick or needing care. It's about just thinking about things you can do to make your dog live a longer your life.
That proactive approach. Oh, and I don't know if you can see the comments scrolling, Janice. Linda wants to know, can you bring more than one dog to camp?
Yes, you can. How many dogs do you have, Linda?
And while Linda's typing back, and tell us about your dogs. Tammy wants to pay her balance via PayPal. Does that work?
Yeah. She can use it to my camp address, janice@caninecampgetaway.com.
Oh, good. Because PayPal makes it easy. And as I learned as I was sending Rodney money for his plane ticket, sending money to Canada is challenging.
Yes.
And for both, I use a different bank for my personal and my business. And both of them, you have to go to the branch and walk through it with a person to do a wire transfer. It takes about 45 minutes, and then it takes them days to get the money. It's like, why can't I just PayPal?
Yeah.
You know, so we figured out a way to do that. And then it got all fussy about the exchange rate, but whatever. His plane ticket's paid. Looks like Linda has 2 dogs.
Oh, not a problem at all.
A 12-week-old golden and a 3-year-old miniature American Shepherd.
Oh my goodness. So the mini Shepherd are awesome sport dogs, and the golden would probably love to swim and explore the pool. If it doesn't already swim, that's a great place to learn.
Yeah, so in another 9 weeks, we'll essentially be 2 months older.
Yeah.
So perfect to start doing some activities.
All of my dogs came to camp when they were puppies, and I thought it was an amazing socializing experience. Lexi was going to be 13 at camp. Her very first camp, she was 3 months old at, and, you know, it was her first time ever in a pool. She learned to swim. She was very nervous paddling along. Now she's a, multi-dock diving. But all of my dogs came as puppies, and it was such a great experience to socialize, to have that interaction with people and dogs and activities and to gain confidence. So it's a wonderful place to take a puppy.
Yeah. Well, and my puppy, Kindle,
was
was there, and she thought the best thing ever was the hotel bed. Don't tell the hotel. She's like, "This is great. You can stretch out," and she just thought it was the bomb.
I
And then
full size home, so the bigger bed is really nice for my dogs because they kind of
yeah. Did they put new beds in the hotel too? I wonder.
everything was remodeled except the suites, as far as I know. So as far as I know, everything will be new. The bathrooms were done over. I don't think they finished the indoor courtyard yet, but I know they were working on the outdoor courtyard. I will actually be up there in about 3 weeks, and I will take some pictures of the hotel indoors and out, and I will post them on the Canine Camp Gateway Facebook page. So if you want to follow, I'll do a little video, and so you can actually see the place. But it's a very pretty hotel, and they were good about having all the dogs.
Lots of grassy ground and everything. Very easy to spread out. Are we doing urban ratting or barn hunt or?
Right now, the plan is to do barn hunt. Last year, we had a little bit of a mini tornado thing going on at one day. So
that's right.
And we ended up doing Happy Ratters, which is a variation on barn hunt, the urban barn hunt, where they find the rats in piles of garbage or pseudo garbage, crumpled papers and things. We may end up doing both, depending on how things work out. But this year, we should be on target to get the hay, and hopefully, we will not.
Windstorm. That was just a crazy thing.
10 to have insanity.
10 minutes of, basically tornado, it felt like going through. And then it was over. And, you just saw stuff everywhere.
Yeah, cooled everything down. And then we were, great again. But a few tents suffered terrible tent deaths. So
our Easy Up tents did not do well. And I think there were like some trash bins that traveled miles and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was a little bit crazy, but thankfully really fast. And that's why I love having that indoor space, because you have these big ballrooms that we run classes in. So we have agility handling, we have fly ball, we'll do tricks for nose work. For advanced nose work students, we also do car searches and some of the outdoor stuff. But it's always good to have that indoor space if it's not a really hot day or it's a rainy day.
Yeah, having air conditioning and cover is key. Because it's June, anything can happen. So yeah, I'm excited. Will Laura be coming? We have 2 vets.
Yes, Dr. Laura will be coming. So we'll have both of our vets on staff, and we have a good sized staff for this one. I'm always excited to see, just have a lot of people and a lot of activities going on at once. And what's great about that is maybe you do agility, and after 10 minutes you go, this isn't really the sport for me. Well, now you can just go to another class. There's no rules that stop you. And
or my dog is just really tired. So
maybe I'll
go sit by the pool.
Or I want to do a craft, or I want to go to a seminar, or I want
to what's the craft this year? Barks and Crafts.
Our theme for June camp is, it's kind of a spa dog theme. So we're doing kind of, pamper your pooch. So our crafts will be tied into that kind of spa theme.
Oh, geez. So we got the cucumbers for over the eyes and towel around the head and all that stuff.
Spa-like, it might be a sunset meditation with our yoga instructor, but every day we'll have some kind of a little spa thing. And some people will incorporate that into the costume contest. We do a costume contest every year, and the costumes are amazing. And we do one category that ties to the theme. So if you were coming and wanted to do a spa theme, you would have the opportunity to win a.
I know somebody's going to have a bathtub float.
I'm sure.
Make a bathtub, and the dog's going to be in it. Yeah, super, super fun. So yeah, I'm definitely excited, and it'll be so nice to see Frank.
Yeah.
Since he moved to Virginia, he was a fixture of camp.
Yeah,
and when he moved to Virginia, it wasn't as easy to shoot up north.
Trained a lot of my therapy dogs, so he'll be helping out with the therapy dog training and the Canine Good Citizen training. So if anyone has a dog that they'd like to make a therapy dog or Canine Good Citizen, we do all the training classes, and then we test right on site. And then we also.
So you'll be offering testing.
Oh yeah.
Will you be offering the advanced Canine Good Citizen as well?
Yes, we will.
Excellent.
It is really good to do those with your dog, to work on not only, the basic obedience, but to have your dog be comfortable in a lot of settings, because it allows you to take them so many more places when you have a dog that is well trained and that'll listen, and that can be focused. And I have a young dog who's still kind of bouncy, so we've been working on that ourselves, and it really makes a difference.
Oh yeah. And Well, I remember taking Kindle out into the lobby, and she was fascinated with the chandelier.
Yeah.
She's sitting there and like, there's a chandelier there. And she looked at it and looked at it, and then she sat on the couch, which, dogs weren't allowed on the couch, of course, but
A few of
she
them,
thinks different rules apply to her in her mind.
How is Kindle?
How is Kindle?
Yeah, she's big now.
She'll be 2 on July 1st.
Wow. Blink.
It's hard to believe. So this is her 3rd camp, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, because they were born July 1st, so that she missed the June camp that year, and she went September and June.
Right.
So this will be her 2nd time. Oh, Linda wants to know about how many dogs usually go to camp. Her dog can sometimes be reactive. Imagine that.
Well, June camp.
I have 4 Aussies that can be snarky. So
yeah, a June camp is usually anywhere from 90 to 120 dogs, but they're not all on top of each other because we have 6 to 8 activities going on at a time. So everyone is spread out. You've got some inside in the ballroom, some are out by dock diving, some are down by the agility field.
We're on the hike with Bob.
Yeah,
right?
there's some on the hike. So yeah, and if a dog, we can't have a dog who's really aggressive at camp. Obviously, it's a safety hazard. But if your dog just needs a little more space, we just put a red bandana on them, and we ask people to respect that. Some dogs just need a little more personal space.
Yeah, and the beauty of having that space, indoors and outdoors. I mean, when we had meals there last year, that huge dining room was so spread out that it was really easy to get the space you needed. And people are respectful. Probably since we do have a couple of new people, what are your basic rules for camp? What do the dogs have to be able to do?
Okay, we don't require that the dogs know any special sports skills. We don't require that they have intense obedience training. We do require that they be reasonably good with people and dogs. Obviously, if there's a history of dog fights or a bite history, that dog would not be appropriate for camp simply because it's so many dogs in one place. We can't have female dogs in heat for obvious reasons. Dogs need to, by New York and Pennsylvania state law, they have to have a rabies vaccination. So the only exception would be if there was contraindicated, when we had a note from your vet explaining that there was a reason they couldn't have that. And we're looking for dogs that want to come and have a good time and be with you. If you leave them alone in the room, they do have to be crated. If you, for some reason, can't crate your dog, as long as they're well behaved, they can go everywhere with you. So there's really nowhere except the little store in the lobby that serves like sandwiches and coffee and stuff. And you can't bring the dogs in there simply because food is being served. But it's a tiny store. You could ask someone to hold your dog if you needed to run in.
I always think that's funny because how many of us make food in our kitchens with our dogs underfoot? Or feed our dogs in the kitchen. But yet, it's kind of a deli sort of place.
Yeah.
You can't come in and, there's this huge counter and everything. It's just kind of ironic.
It is. But I guess if you were making a hot coffee or something on the side and, your dog kind of gets a bump, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like we don't let the dogs be on the buffet line at dinner. You can bring your dog to dinner to one of the dog-friendly tables, but you can't take them on the buffet line. Like for breakfast and lunch, we do a buffet. And that obviously you'd ask someone to hold your dog because one year we did not think to remind people of that. And there was an incident with a buffet and dogs and bacon, which we will not discuss. Some dog ended up very happy.
Yeah. Buffet lines can be a challenge. Definitely can be a challenge. But yeah, it's gonna be good.
Oh, so looking forward to it.
I'm still keep going back to that water yoga. I think we're gonna have to take the GoPro and put it in the waterproof case and see what's going on, how the relaxation looks from underwater.
Yeah, last year was the first year we introduced dock diving, and it was really popular. People really enjoyed it.
And are we doing dock diving again?
Yeah, we'll be doing dock diving again. We've got the dock diving pool, and we'll also do the swimming lessons, of course. If your dog has never swum, and you've got a puppy and you want them to learn, we have terrific instructors who will, get with them and teach them to swim and get comfortable swimming. And then we have the water yoga, and so there's always going to be opportunity for your dogs to splash around and get wet and have a little fun with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The agility is always popular, and the lure coursing, if you've never done it, such a wonderful thing just for your dogs. Dogs are meant to run and they love to run, and to have the opportunity to run and chase something without being reined in is very exciting for them and kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. So you said September camp is almost full, right?
Almost full. Yeah. We have a lot of RV space still on camp. So if you have a camper you want to come, we do have RV hookups. It's, you would only pay the meals and activities price. So it's a little money savings and you're still right there. But we only,
you're right on site.
We actually, this is the first year we don't offer dock diving at September camp. We have a big pool, outdoor swimming pool, but we don't have dock diving. However, I just connected with somebody who was 15 minutes from camp who does have a dock diving facility. So we're full time. And then people who are willing to drive 15 minutes will have that opportunity to try some dock diving in September as well.
Oh, that sounds interesting. And hey, Pat, yes, people bring more than one dog.
Oh, yes.
I bring 4. But I would say there are a number of people who bring 2.
2 is fairly common.
Fairly common. And a couple people with 3. But yeah, Tammy says, it sounds like my dream vacation.
It's just watching. I'm not a parent. I don't have human children. My dogs are my kids. And I feel like, to me, I guess this is what parents feel like when they watch their kids having a great time. I watch my dogs swimming and splashing and jumping and playing, and they're so happy. And that makes me so happy.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does. And even just the chance to, although COVID kept us all home a lot, just the chance to hang out with you in a different place. My dogs are like, oh, I get to go and you're going to sit over here and have coffee and we're going to watch, whatever or do whatever. They're just thrilled.
It's a nice, they're all dog lovers. So it's a really friendly place. When I conceived this and, we're going back to 2009, I wanted a place where you could go on vacation, even if you didn't have a husband or wife or best friend or sister or brother who would go with you, that you could go and have a good time and make friends and not be tied to someone else's schedule. And so many people come by themselves the first year with their dog, and then their dog starts playing with those 2 dogs. And then you start talking to those 2 dogs' owners. And before you know it, everyone's friends and hanging out. Really fun.
Yeah. It's a definite, just like at my event, everybody's on the same wavelength. And that is so refreshing, especially I've learned they're called sinks and dinks. Single income, no kids. So we have dogs, or dual income, no kids. And because sometimes the people who have kids just don't get us. And
yeah, it is 18 and over. Camp is 18 and over. So we don't, just from a safety standpoint and insurance liability, no one under 18 is allowed. We have a nice bar at night. So at night you want to drink, your dog can come with you and hang out. We do kind of entertainment at night. We might do a dog themed movie night under the stars, or we have a comic magician booked for June who's very funny and fun. And, we might do karaoke or something like that. There's always some kind of fun evening entertainment. So there's something you can do at night, activities all day, 3 meals a day. And by the end of the day, you and your dog will be exhausted.
Yeah. You definitely sleep well. Without a doubt.
Your dog will sleep well. My youngest is crazy. And it's the only time you see her completely exhausted. She settles at the end of the night and she's like, that was a good day.
Yeah.
So tired dog, good dog.
Susan has a question. She was at Gettysburg last year. And what is, the final payment? Do you send out an email or what's the scoop?
Yeah. Susan, we send out final payment for June is due April 15th. So on or about the 7th, I'll send you an email that says, your balance is due. This is what it is. And, I send everyone a reminder a week out.
Yeah. Oh, and Heidi, a girl after my own heart. Let's sit by the pool and have an adult beverage.
Oh, Heidi, it's always fun to see you and your crew.
Yeah. So will the bar be open? Do we know yet, or?
As far as I know.
Yes. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Pat understands the no kids struggle. You have a grand puppy, Mom. That's what you got.
My parents all the time, disappointing my parents one grand dog at a time.
Yep. We need t-shirts for that.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, what color are the camp t-shirts this year?
Oh, the camp t-shirts this year are purple.
Purple. Excellent choice.
Yeah.
Excellent choice. It's always fun. The long-term campers, we over the years, we've basically used up most of the common colors. But people will whip out a red shirt or a green shirt. It's like, oh, that camp, that was a couple years ago, and that's the time that the dog did this, or the time the jazz musicians were there, and it becomes, it's something that just happens that's unique about each camp.
Yeah, they all have a different feel. They all have a different theme.
Mm-hmm.
I think these are heathered purple too. They were pretty. So waiting for those to show up.
But yeah, well, your living room is going to look like my living room did with all the stuff.
Oh yeah, it just boxes everywhere, and
yeah,
it's a little bit crazy. I'm remodeling the other room. I've got like my den in my living room. I've got camp in my living room. Every now and then the dogs keep saying, "Wait, I see goodie bag stuff," and I'm like, "Put those down. Those are camp treats."
Those are camp treats. You can't have them yet. Linda will be with us in September, and the September camp, the site is the Blackthorn. Which is in the Catskills. It's a unique place, and I think the staff there is probably the friendliest that I've ever worked with. They were just like, "Hey, how you doing?" Like, they knew me all my life.
Yeah,
not that the other ones aren't nice, but they're just very welcoming.
Well, that's a family-run company, and I think that makes a difference.
Sure. I think you're right.
I remember being surprised when we first did this. It was, we had worked in Lake George for many years, and the hotel was sold, and they were remodeling in the middle of the pandemic. They couldn't get permits. There were all kinds of issues with that. So, we ended up having to find a place later, kind of last minute. And we ended up at this place in the Catskills. And the first year they were a little bit nervous about all the dogs and how it was going to work out. But they set up such a nice group of people and dogs that they were really excited to have us back. And that always makes me happy when people have that experience with their guests and they really, enjoy. But dog people get it. I think they always worry, will dog people clean up after themselves? Will they? And they do. People do what,
These people, our campers
get it. We are. It's a lot to ask a facility. Can we bring our 120 dogs to your place? That's a big ask. And put them.
Well, and I remember at first they weren't cool with dogs in the pool, but as we approached the last day, they're like, "Hey, go in the pool, go for it." And it was just like, okay,
yeah,
you're welcome here.
The September camp, they have a nice outdoor pool, and what they do is they give us the pool. It's the last week of the season. Then they can shut it down, so they're not breaking any laws, because as soon as we leave, they just drain it and shut it down. But the dogs so enjoy being in the pool, so it's a really nice thing for the dogs to have that opportunity.
Well, and in September you can have some hot weather too.
Yeah, and the pool was pretty warm. Even on cooler days, the pool was pretty warm. Like all the dogs seemed to enjoy it. I didn't see any dogs saying that this is too cold.
No, not at all.
So you really never know in September what kind of weather you're going to get, but we've been fortunate so far, and hopefully we'll continue to be.
Yeah, without a doubt. And Linda will be there. I'm just looking. Any other questions? Let's see. Anything we missed? Anything else we're going to do? Other new games, new stuff?
We have a couple of new things, but I want to keep a few surprises for our campers.
Okay.
And I said, if you haven't checked out the new website, if you can do it on a computer rather than a phone, you can actually see some of the videos and some of the new
elements. I'll put that in.
There's a lot of cool stuff there. But we're working on, I said, we're working on the schedule. I probably will see Marcia in a couple of hours. She's out getting goodie bag stuff right now. And
you guys raid the dollar store and the craft store, the Michaels.
Oh, Michaels knows us well. And
Leanne's wearing out her camp shirts.
Well, Leanne hasn't been at camp for a little while, so she needs some new camp shirts.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and you'll bring the camp store, of course, so you can get some shirts there.
Yeah, we got a couple of fun new things for the camp store as well. We got some fun things for the goodie bags. So
excellent.
And
I hope somebody gets the bathrobe.
Oh yeah, we have,
because that's just like the ultimate statement.
Because it's a spa theme, we have a couple of fun things for the silent auction this year, and one of them is a spa human basket with a bathrobe and all kinds of spa things and a little shower head. One of them is a dog spa basket with a fluffy dog towel and embroidered and all kinds of other fun stuff. So there's going to be some fun stuff in the silent auction, and we do that every year to raise money for charity.
Yeah. And we typically do a couple of charities depending on the amount we raise, right? So
Yeah.
we can help.
We usually split it between 3 or 4 charities so we can work with a lot
Nice.
of dog rescue groups.
Yeah.
Tammy, if you do not have an RV, it is unlikely we will have space on site for September or beyond, this month. We are, now sometimes we get last minute cancellations, but we don't usually sell out September this early. But because it's the place has limited rooms, we only have a handful of rooms left right now. There is a beautiful bread and breakfast that's about 10 minutes away that I know is dog friendly, that has rooms. There are a couple of things in the area that are off site, but on site, no, I don't imagine, unless there's a cancellation, I don't imagine we will have rooms available by June. It's sometimes there's always this opportunity. Sometimes somebody cancels or something, but we're really tight on rooms right now. So
yeah, and that is unusual. Usually September doesn't start filling up till later in the year. I think post COVID, everybody's excited to get out and they're booking things.
Yeah. It's also there's not a lot. I don't think there's anyone who does quite what we do. There are a couple of dog camps. I want to say there are maybe 6 in the country, but I don't think anybody else in this part of the country that has an actual hotel. So if you're doing something like it, you're staying on a campground and, you're bringing your own bedding and maybe you don't have electricity. So it's not, you're sharing bathrooms. So if you want kind of a hotel experience, and September is rustic, it's, it's motel 1960s style, think Dirty Dancing. But if you actually want a hotel room with air conditioning and private bathroom, I don't think there's anyone who's doing that.
No. And in terms of the activities, the closest one I can to what we do is the one Laura Nativo is part of, Camp Blue Dog or whatever.
It's a very nice job. It's the West Coast. If you're on the West Coast, that's the camp to go to. They do a beautiful job there.
Yeah, and the area, I think it's a park. I mean, it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's just really hard to convince a hotel to say, hey, we want to bring 100+ dogs. And I remember when I started this in 2009, I would call hotels and tell them what I wanted to do, and they would literally hang up on me. They wouldn't even say anything. It would just be like, click, like I was joking or something. It took a lot to find a hotel that was willing to trust us with that number of dogs, because they said, are they going to tear up the rooms? Are they going to have accidents? Thank you so much, Anne, working on her dog gift basket for a worthy cause. Yeah, we really, and the rescues really appreciate it. A lot of the animal charity groups and rescue groups got killed during the pandemic. People weren't donating. They couldn't have fundraisers. So I know last year when we did, and the year before, that when we were able to make donations, they were so appreciated, because so many of these groups are really, really struggling. Without parts of the country, they still can't have the live events, or they can't have big events, and they're hurting. So we really appreciate when everyone brings things and bids on things and donates, so we can, raise money for some of these animal charities that really need help.
Absolutely. And the silent auction, I'm always blown away by people's generosity and the creativity of what they put together. And some of these baskets, I mean, are, just unbelievably overstuffed with amazing things.
Oh, we have, Marcia's company always donates. I think she does a pet vacuum. We have,
the dog beds.
We have a beautiful dog gold necklace. It's a gold, a little bit of diamond in it.
The one. There's always one person who donates jewelry.
But we have some beautiful stuff, some great things with dog treats, and for those of you who've never come, we ask people if they're willing to bring, and you totally optional, little basket of something to donate, and then people bid on it. And over the course of the day, you just write in, your bid and the amount, and whoever has the most amount when we close it, wins that item. And then all that money goes to animal charities, and we pick 3 or 4. And it's a lot of fun, because we might have, 40, 50, 60 baskets depending on the year. So there's lots of stuff to bid on. And, it's kind of nice to know that we're helping those in need that don't have the option. It's an amazing privilege to be able to take your dog on this kind of vacation, to be able to, spend several days just hanging out and doing dog sports and having a meal served to you while your dog sits by your side. I mean, it's extraordinary.
Totally
opportunity.
Totally amazing. Yes, Linda, I think everything about registering and the registration form are downloadable on the new website. So you should be able to find everything there. And yes, Tracy, there are people baskets, there are dog-based baskets,
Yes.
combination, there are adult beverage baskets. Somebody always does some wine. I think somebody did some maple syrup too.
Yeah, depending on where different parts. We get people from all over the country. We have people from Ohio, Virginia. I've got a couple coming from Texas. I have one that flies in from, I think, Arizona.
Canadians should be able to come this year.
Yeah, our Canadians, thank God, we have missed our Canadians terribly.
Yes,
but so we get people from all over, and sometimes the gift baskets reflect some of the places they come from as well. But if anybody has any questions after this, by all means, you can always reach out to me. My name is Janice. I'm the owner. It's JANICE, and my email is janice@caninecampgetaway.com. So,
and of course, they can always go to the website.
There's a contact page.
Or the Facebook page. Canine Camp Getaway of New York Facebook page. Because, once you start thinking about this, you're like, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
I said, I'll post I'm going to a Greyhound event down in April. So I think the 22nd through the 24th, I will be down in Gettysburg, and I'll post some videos so you guys can actually see a little bit of the place.
A little walk around.
Here's what the room looks like. Here's what the lobby looks like. Here's, what the ballrooms look like. And you get a chance to see the hotel if you haven't been. It's very lovely.
It is very lovely. And they are a lot of dog breed clubs that have shows there. So they relate to dog people, I think.
Yeah.
And
they have elevators, which is so wonderful. Our previous facility did not. Upstairs was not fun. So they do have elevators, which is a beautiful thing.
Especially when you're carrying big dog crates.
Yeah.
Are we going to have valet service again?
I hope so. That's conversation I'll have when I'm there, but I think they last year did a pretty good job of that. So
yeah. I with the expo, I really appreciated my guy Rich. Because he just got all my stuff where it needed to be. So easy. It's priceless.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to manage the dog and the stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Davina's here. Hi, Davina.
Hey, Davina. Good to see you.
Will the dogs be swimming in hotel pool in June?
That is the big question. We have been in discussion. We have an outdoor above ground pool that is for dock diving. We do swimming lessons there as well. The last conversation I'd had is I have to hit certain numbers for camp. If we have enough June campers, then she would give me the indoor pool as well. So that will depend on how many of you go tell your friends about it. If we get enough June campers,
we fill up the place.
Basically, they don't want, the place has a lot of rooms, and they don't want to give us the pool and keep other people out, because obviously if you're staying in a hotel, they have two hotels on site.
Yeah.
The bigger one, which is what we use, and a smaller one that is not dog friendly. But they don't want to have guests who kind of go to the pool and see dogs in it, because that would be a little disturbing. So basically, she said, if you fill up the place, I will give you the pool. So our numbers are good so far, but we're not at the point yet where we'd have the pool. So you guys keep sending those applications.
That makes sense. Well, I remember one time in Lake George, somehow a couple with a couple kids booked the place, and did they do it on Expedia or something?
Yeah. We would book the hotel exclusively, but somehow they ended up undermining that because they went through Expedia or something.
Yeah. And of course the dogs were in the pool. They couldn't send the kids in.
Oh, the kids saw it, and she was like, "Oh my God, can I go swim at the pool?" And I was like, "Why is no. They had to make them go and stay at another hotel. It was just accidental, but they thought it was the best thing in the world. And the mother was horrified. She was like, "Why are there all these dogs in the pool?"
Yeah.
So you kind of,
but glitches like that come up, and we just solve them. I mean, it's cake.
It was fine. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we're hoping to be able to get the indoor pool, but I said we got to fill a place for that, and that's fair.
That's fair. Yeah.
So
without a doubt,
know your friends.
Yeah. Bring your friends, bring your relatives.
Yeah, it's a unique vacation, and because dogs don't live nearly long enough, those experiences are really precious. And I know, as my girl's going to be 13 this year, and she's still, well, now she's passed out the couch, but she had a play date earlier. But I know how precious it is to get the photos and we have a photographer on site for just that. For her to be able to swim and play and dock dive and do a little agility and smell everything and meet everybody, because they, you blink and they're a puppy, and then you blink and they're 6, and you blink and they're going to be 13, and it happens fast. So
it does.
That time together, the chance to spend time together where you're not at work or on the computer or focused on doing things where you're really focused on your dog and they're focused on you is so precious to them and so precious as they get older, you know, that you have those memories and that you've given your dog that gift of really focused time together. Because I don't know about you. I'm petting my dog while I've got one hand on the computer or I'm on the phone or I'm
right.
straightening out or stacking the dishwasher. And for the dogs to get my full attention is hard because there's so many distractions at home. But at camp, it's just you and your dog, and that's fabulous.
Exactly. And, you know, you can push away from the screen. You don't have to answer the phone if you don't want to. It's great. It's great.
We do have Wi-Fi for those of you who had asked in June camp, full Wi-Fi in the premises. It's good quality Wi-Fi. I've done video from there. So
good
with that. September camp, last year they only had it in main lodge. They were working on getting it throughout the premises, but they don't open for another month or so. So I don't know if they've actually done that or not yet.
Well, and it's very spread out in the September location.
Much more rustic, kind of that.
And like where my room usually is, it's a building with my room and another room. And then there's another building that has, you know, like 6 rooms in it. So it's got to be hard to put Wi-Fi here, there, and everywhere.
They were going to try, but you've got the mountains. So it's, it's really remote, which is the wonderful thing about it is really rustic and remote. And it feels like camp. The downside is it's really remote and rustic and, so pros and cons.
Yeah. And that is one thing. I mean, in June, you're right outside of Gettysburg. So, hop in the car and you're in town. You've got anything you need. If you need something in September camp, plan on driving significantly.
Yeah.
So you've got to pack a little bit better, I think, for September.
Yeah. In June, there's all kinds of stuff. And there's this wonderful, for those of you who come early, and I know a few of you guys do, there's a wonderful place that does homemade ice cream in Gettysburg. That is phenomenal. So highly recommend making a stop there. But they have some dog-friendly cafes. They have the battlefields that you can take your dogs and for hikes. There's a whole lot. It's a nice little town. The Catskills definitely more remote. Everything is a little further drive. I want to say there might be it's either a Target or a Walmart, but it's a good 20 minutes away. And then there's a store a little bit.
It's not 5 minutes away like the other locations have been.
Yeah. So if if you're going to September, you want to make sure you bring what you need. I mean, yes, you can get to stuff, but it's a little more of a hassle.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can't take your dog just everywhere.
Yeah.
So yeah. All right. Well, this has been great hanging with you.
Oh, the same. It's always fun. It's great talking to you, Lori. And I'm so it's nice to see a couple of new campers here. So for those of you coming back, welcome back. And for those of you, this is your first camp. I'm really excited to meet you guys and meet your dogs and see, get to experience you guys experiencing it for the first time, because it is magical. And the campers who come every year will tell you there is nothing quite like it. It is a really unique experience that you and your dog are going to have together, and you're going to have a great time.
Absolutely. So caninecampgetaway.com, reach out to Janice or hit up the Facebook page or hit me up and I'll get you the answers you need. And we'll see you guys in June.
Great seeing you. Thanks for having me, Lori.
You bet. Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye.